Hey everyone, it's Erica, and this is my Mist and May book haul. I'll explain the title of the video in a second. So, it turns out that I have missed a few books in the past couple months to haul for you, so that's what I'm going to do today. The first book I want to show you is Shade by Jerry Smith Reddy. This is a book that I bought from Book Outlet on their Boxing Day sale, and I received this book in mid-January. This is the first book in a YA paranormal fantasy trilogy. It follows a girl named Aura. Aura's boyfriend Logan's band is playing a gig on her birthday, and she plans to have an intimate after her party for him. What she doesn't know is this is Logan's last night. Logan's sudden death devastates Aura, and she believes that he is gone. Well, he is sort of gone. Aura has the ability to communicate with ghosts since she was born after the shift. Aura finds this ability annoying, but she wants to keep Logan's spirit around since dead Logan is almost as real as the real thing. Aura's new friend Zachary sympathizes and seems to understand this, and Aura's feelings for Zachary grow. Now Aura feels caught between the two guys, and each guy holds secrets to why the shift happened. This sounds like an exciting trilogy, and I'm looking forward to reading it in the future. The next book I want to show you is Born at Midnight by C.C. Hunter. I also bought this book in Book Outlet's Boxing Day sale. This book is the first book in a YA paranormal fantasy series. Kylie Galen ends up at the wrong party with the wrong people one night. The next thing she knows, her mom is shipping her off to Shadow Falls, which is a camp for troubled teens. Once she arrives there, she realizes that the teens aren't just troubled. This is a camp where paranormal creatures train side by side and learn to harness her powers and magic while living in the normal world. Kylie has never felt normal, but she insists that she doesn't belong there with the other paranormal creatures. The other campers feel that she does belong there and that she was brought here for a specific purpose. She then meets Derek and Lucas. Derek is a half-fae who is determined to be her boyfriend. Lucas is a hot werewolf with whom Kylie shares a secret past. In the confusion of Derek and Lucas, Kylie realizes that she's meant to be at Shadow Falls after all. This sounds like an exciting series, and I can't wait to find out more about it. I wonder why Kylie is meant to be at Shadow Falls, and I'm wondering who she'll pick as a romantic interest. The next book I want to show you is Immortal by Gillian Shields. This is the first book in a YA paranormal fantasy series. Wildcliff Abbey School for young ladies is a gothic mansion that is elite, expensive, and unwelcoming. Evie Johnson feels isolated there among the strict teachers and snobbish students. She then meets Sebastian, and they form a connection. Evie fears that Sebastian is hiding something about his past. Additionally, Evie has strange glimpses of a girl that looks so much like Evie that she could be her sister. She soon is tangled up in a web of past and present, and she learns the truth about Sebastian, her own fate, and her future. This sounds like an interesting book series. I'm not really sure what to expect, but I'm thinking that this book has to do with visions and past lives, or maybe some time travel. I'm not sure. The next books I want to show you are books that I bought in April that I forgot to haul. They are Bloodlines by Rochelle Mead. This is the first book in a YA paranormal fantasy series, and it's the spin-off of Rochelle Mead's Vampire Academy series. This book follows Rose's friend Sydney, who's an alchemist. She's ordered to protect Jill Dragonmere Amore, and she is sent to the unlikeliest of all places, a human boarding school in Palm Springs, California. This series is filled with familiar faces as well as new ones, and I can't wait to see what happens in this new series. I know that the 6th book in this series was published recently, and it's called Ruby Circle, but I'll wait until that book is out in paperback before I start reading this series. Also, I read the Vampire Academy series back in November, so I'm eager to get to this series. The next book I want to show you is Nightshade by Andrea Kramer. This is the first book in a YA fantasy paranormal trilogy. It's about werewolves, and it follows this girl named Kala, who is the alpha female in a shape-shifting wolf pack. She's destined to marry the alpha male of the pack, named Ren LaRoche. Together, they would rule the pack, guarding sites for the keepers. But when Kala saves a beautiful boy, this all changes. She begins to question everything: her existence, her fate, and the orders that she takes from the keepers. She'll have to make a choice. But will this choice cost her her own life? This sounds like an interesting series. It sounds very intriguing. I've never really read a book about werewolves before, so this will definitely be a new experience. The next book I have to show you is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. This is the first book in a YA paranormal fantasy trilogy. Mara Dyer wakes up in a hospital with no memory of how she got there. She thinks it was more than an accident that had killed her friends. She wants to find out what's going on, and she thinks that she can't fall in love after all that she's been through, but she can. The synopsis of this book is kind of vague and mysterious, so I don't really know much about this book, and I think I would like to go into this book not really knowing much about it. I'm looking forward to reading this book in the future. I know it's one of the most popular trilogies out there right now, or at least it was a few months ago when the third book in this trilogy was published. It was popular on BookTube, so I'm glad to finally own it. The next book I want to show you is called HalfBlood, written by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the first book in a YA paranormal fantasy series. The synopsis of this book is quite detailed, so I'm just going to read you guys the Goodreads synopsis, so you'll have a better idea of what this book is about. The Immortal descend from the unions of gods and mortals, and the children of two Immortal purebloods have godlike powers. Children of the Immortal and mortals will not so much. Half-bloods only have two options: become trained centennials who hunt and kill demons, or become servants in the homes of the pures. 17-year-old Alexandria would rather risk her life fighting than waste it scrubbing toilets, but she may end up slumming it anyway. There are several rules that students at the Covenant must follow. Alex has problems with them all, but especially rule number 1. Relationships between pures and halves are forbidden. Unfortunately, she's crushing hard on the totally hot pureblood Aiden. But falling for Aiden isn't her biggest problem. Staying alive long enough to graduate the Covenant and become a centennial is. If she fails in her duty, she faces a future worse than death or slavery, being turned into a demon and being hunted by Aiden. And that would kind of suck. This book sounds similar to Jennifer L. Armentrout's Luck series, where different races of alien are against each other, and aliens sometimes fall in love with humans, and this is forbidden. So this book sounds kind of similar, and I look forward to reading it. I loved Jennifer L. Armentrout's Luck series, so I'm sure I'll like this series as well. The next book I want to share with you is Sweet Evil, written by Wendy Higgins. This book is the first book in a YA paranormal fantasy trilogy. The basic premise of this book is quite involved, so I'll just read it to you guys. In this book, teens' lives depend on being bad influences. This is the reality for sons and daughters of fallen angels. Tender-hearted Southern girl Anna Witt was born with the sixth sense to see and feel the emotions of other people. She's aware of a struggle within herself, an inexplicable pull toward danger. But it isn't until she turns 16 and meets the alluring Caden Rowe that she discovers her terrifying heritage and her willpower is put to the test. He's the boy your daddy warned you about. If only someone had warned Anna. Forced to face her destiny, will Anna embrace her halo or her horns? I have this book on my bookshelf, but I forgot to pull it down and show it to you guys. This trilogy sounds interesting, and I've definitely never read anything like it before. I'm looking forward to reading this book in the future. Now on to the books that I bought in May, which are HalfBlood, the second book in the Unearthly trilogy by Cynthia Hand, which I've already talked about in a previous video. Boundless, which is the third book in the Unearthly trilogy by Cynthia Hand, which I've also talked about in a previous video. And the final book that I bought in May that I want to share with you guys is, this is the first book in a middle grade fantasy series, the first book in Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan called The Lightning Thief. The basic premise for this book is quite detailed, so I'll read you the premise. Percy Jackson is a good kid, but he can't seem to focus on his schoolwork or control his temper. And lately, being away at boarding school is only getting worse. Percy could have sworn his pre-algebra teacher turned into a monster and tried to kill him. When Percy's mom finds out, she knows it's time that he knew the truth about where he came from, and that he can go to one place he'll be safe. She sends Percy to Camp HalfBlood, a summer camp for demigods on Long Island, where he learns that the father he never knew is Poseidon, god of the sea. Soon a mystery unfolds, and together with his friends, one a satyr and the other the demigod daughter of Athena, Percy sets out on a quest across the United States to reach the gates of the underworld, located in a recording studio in Hollywood, and to prevent a catastrophic war between the gods. This book series sounds very action-packed and mysterious, and I can't wait to read this book since I don't read a lot out of high fantasy. That's the end of my Mist and May book haul. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!
But somewhere we went wrong. We were once so strong. Our love is like a song. You can't forget it.